Penn State 2012 says, is it even worth being interested in high school quarterback recruiting anymore? Without a multi-year contract or a buyout, quarterbacks are just going to be free agents and grab the biggest bag possible each offseason. So you can spend a lot of time and money developing a quarterback, and suddenly he might not be your guy of the future. So what do you guys think about this? Ryan, when it comes to quarterback recruiting and finding the right fit and all those things, is it worth going after one of the top quarterbacks, or is it better to find a guy that you feel like is going to stay with you? How do you view quarterback recruiting? Is it worth it, as Penn State 2012 wants to know?
It's riskier than I think most people give it credit for. It's really easy to point to Miami, right? The last 2 years, they've had a lot of success, right? It's easy to point to Indiana with Fernando Mendoza, Oklahoma with Mateer. I would even put Duke with Derry Mensah in there, but Duke is a great example, right? A team that had success and then got him stolen away from it, right? It's kind of risky, and now that's really going to probably burn Manny Diaz this year. But I think, like, okay, we talk about those guys all the time, but like, didn't work out for Nico Iamaleava and UCLA. Didn't really work out for Tennessee, and now Aguilar's a little bit of a different situation because of Nico moving on later and forcing them.
You could also say it didn't work out for Tennessee with Nico. I mean, he played there.
Yeah, then, he wasn't transferred, but yeah.
Moving on. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but like Jackson Arnold, Auburn, it depends on if you want to play in that very top tier with stupid money. Yeah, the hits have been decent, but I think if you're not in that top 4 or 5 kind of QBs and you're playing underneath that, which is where Penn State's probably going to be more often than not, let's be honest, let's call it what it is financially, then I think it's very risky. And so that's why I still think high school recruiting is very important. Now, of course, paying dumb money to a freshman is risky as well. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation in my eyes.
It's all about getting the evaluation right, no matter if it's high school or if it's college. And if you get the evaluation right in high school, which is crapshoot, not gonna lie. I mean, you've seen a bunch of guys that have come through that are really good prospects that don't pan out. And if you do that, the thought is that you can save money over the course of 4 years. You can save money over the course of 5 years. And at the tier that Penn State is at, I don't see this as a place that is getting poached for quarterbacks, if that makes sense. I know Grunk just left. That's a completely different story. But it depends on where you're at in the system, and you try to be homegrown as much as you possibly can, and then you go with it. If you Rocco Beck's going to be a 4-year starter for Matt Campbell. I know it's 2 different schools, but it's one of those things where you can develop into the centerpiece of your roster. You can set a culture and you can try and get that going. What that's worth anymore, it depends on the program, really. But you have to be open to everything right now. Now, where it comes down to being crazy is how much are you willing to invest in that high school quarterback? Because probably not going to start right off the bat, especially in the portal era where you're bringing in experienced guys to get you wins from their experience, right? Mm-hmm. Bryce Underwood, you're paying a lot for him. Does that turn into a great investment, or does that become a historical bust? You still don't know. The jury's going to be out on that one as well. What was Faison Brandon at Tennessee? They paid him a lot. He was the number 1 or 2 quarterback nationally. I know that there were conversations at Tennessee about, is this worth the squeeze? Because you don't think that he's going to play right away. And I don't know if he's going to play right away or not, but you don't think that he's going to play right away. It's like the conversation we've had with Emmanuel Iheanacho and those offensive linemen that you're going to have to stash for a couple of years. You have to, number one, have a budget to be able to afford, not just miss, but be able to afford to stash. Because if you're going to pay a high school quarterback over $1 million, that's a significant chunk of your budget. And then you're probably on top of that paying a starting quarterback salary. So it's about being efficient. It's about doing what makes sense for your program. I guess the best way that I can say, don't break the bank, but at the same time, be confident in what you're spending in. And it's really hard to get quarterbacks right. We've seen that not just at the college level, but at the pro level as well. And you're going to start to see for the Josh Allens that you have, T. Frank, who were the first rounders in the Josh Allen draft? Because
Jackson, Burrow, the Baker Mayfield, and the UCLA kid who never played.
Okay.
Plus,
so you're gonna have UCLA kids that never play. That's what I'm looking at with how this is going to work out.
Josh Rosen,
and they're still going to command a significant chunk. So At the level that Penn State is playing in, at the tier that Penn State is on the national scheme, or excuse me, the national scene, yeah, I think you try to shoot high with quarterbacks and hope that works, because if it works, it can work really well for your entire roster and can work well for your culture. Matt Campbell seems like a high school quarterbacks guy.
Yeah.
He just went and got a guy from the portal, but it was his guy from the portal. So I think it's a little bit different. So I don't think the way that Penn State goes about it, Penn State, the entity, goes about it, is going to be much different than the way that James Franklin went about it. So go with the high school guys. And then if you have to, make that move, because you're going to bring the high school guys in. You're going to know, not right off the bat, but you're going to know fairly quickly, do you have a franchise quarterback? If you don't, okay, well, then there's the door. Go find yourself another spot. We're going to bring somebody else in. So just be right. And that's really hard to do.
That is the part, right. And then if you can find a guy that is below that tier of everyone's attention is going to them and the money is going to them, and you can develop them, that's always great. Like, again, like finding a 5th-round draft pick to be your franchise quarterback in the NFL, that is the deal of all deals for the first 4 years of their career. Ryan, did you have something you were going to add there at the end? I thought you raised your hand or something. Oh,
no,
okay.
my shoulder's killing me. That's all.
Oh, okay.
I slept on it bad. I'm sorry. But
that's because you're so jacked. There's too much.
Yeah.
There's too much in between you and the pillow, so you're just like
yeah.
whole weight laying on it.
No, not much to add on that. Do you want to do that last question though, T. Frank? There's one more I thought you pulled.
Yeah, we can do that if you want
real
to. Stephen Light wants to know, looking at the class today, how many players are likely to take. I'm just going to rephrase it because he phrased it in a way that I didn't.
How big is the class of 2027 going to be?
How big is the class of 2027? Sorry,
I got it. Steven, I'm going to do a story on this, actually. I'm happy I saw this in there today because I said, you know what? Let's text some people and ask. So I will break it down a little bit more on the site for you here. I got to do a little bit more digging today, but I'll try and get that up tomorrow. I think 30 is a realistic number, though. 28, 29, 30. I think that's all realistic. And then, like I said, I'll try and break down positionally a little bit more on the site for you here. Maybe in the next 24 hours or so. So maybe I can get it done today, but I want to do some digging on it first. But through the numbers to 1 or 2 people a day, and I think we're in the ballpark. So we'll see where things go. But sir, I would just say this: tight end, they got to get some young tight ends. That is the one position that really kind of pops out to me. I think young defensive tackles is important as well, and we'll dig through it a little bit more here over the next day or two.